What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Hugo Smokes. I'm your host, Hugo, and today I'm going to be smoking and reviewing the Tatuaje, the Face Redux 3 in a 6 3/8 by 56 Toro Gordo. And this here is a San Andres, Mexico wrapper over binders and fillers from Nicaragua. And this cigar here is part of Tatuaje's Monster series, which is released every October for Halloween. The initial release was done back in 2008 with the cigar called the Frank, named after Frankenstein's character from the novel Frankenstein of 1818. And ever since 2008, they've been releasing a cigar every October, along with several samplers and advent calendars. I think up to date it's been about 82 different cigars. This here was released last year for Halloween of 2023. And after a lot of search and no luck, I gave up finally. And then I happened to stumble upon this cigar at a local B&M. Yes, you heard that correctly, at a B&M in California. So, of course, I had to pick at least one up, and they have at least 2 or 3 more. So if I like the cigar, I'm gonna go get some more. All right. Well, before we cut it up, let's go ahead and take a look at the nice Colorado slash Maduro colored wrapper, which is just very silky. And keep in mind, this cigar has been sitting since at least October of last year, so it still kept its oils. Very nice and gritty San Andres wrapper. Pigtail cap there. The band is simplistic, reminiscent of Pete Johnson's Tatuaje, but these are labeled Monster, and they're classic closed foot. And the cigar just smells amazing, to be honest with you. Just like rich tobacco aromas coming off of the wrapper. All right, let me go ahead and cut it up and test the draw. This is a big boy, so I'm using my big boy straight edge. And by the way, for being a 56 ring gauge, to be honest with you, this cigar feels a little bit light, which I read that it does burn a little bit faster than the previous releases. White open draw, and just a bunch of earth and dampiness. All right, let me go ahead and get a taste of the wrapper, and I'll be back shortly. Really earthy and chocolatey notes coming off of the foot. Very savory. Wow, my mouth is watering. All right, let me go ahead and light it up, and I'll be back for my first initial notes. All right, nice, rich, just abundant smoke on this cigar. Just that is already impressing me, to be honest with you. It's breathing marvelously through the cap, beautifully. That means great construction, great draw. As I mentioned, it's an open draw. Great burn to start off. And just, you know, getting the same type of notes that I got from the closed foot. Earthy, chocolatey. A little bit of spice coming in now, like a white spice that's, I think it's gonna turn into a black spice, to be honest with you, eventually. And just a nice charred woodiness lingering on a palate on the long finish. Really nice and savory. So let me go ahead and see what is up with the retrohale. Very nice and creamy retrohale. A little bit of like cederness coming through the retro. A little bit of spice, like a citrus spice. White pepper for sure. The sting is like moderate, like a 3 or 4 out of 10, to be honest with you, here at startup. And a little bit of lingering earth on the retrohale as well. So let me go ahead and smoke this cigar past the first third, and I'll be back for my first update. Welcome back. I'm at the end of the first third of this Face Redux. As you can see, the ash fell before this take, but it was holding on nice and strong. I did have to touch up the cigar right there because it had a ugly peak, so you know, touch it up. The burn line isn't exactly straight, but nice. Nice burn construction there. Nice burn indication there that, you know, indication that it's a premium leaf. And as far as the flavor profile, to be honest with you, it's pretty consistent with light up, chocolate, earth, a little bit of raisin, sweet and sourness here at the end of the first third, and a lingering amount of citrus bitterness as well. On the retrohale, mainly getting earth, chocolate as well, and a very nice semi-floral note that's coming in here. On the retrohale, mainly getting cedar notes with a semi-floral note that's coming in now here, rounding off the first third, and a little bit of white pepper spice that just lingers. The pepper spice also lingers on the palate, on the lips. So the cigar here is like medium plus bodied, and strength is medium to full already. So far it's doing great. Let me keep smoking this cigar past the second third, and I'll be back for my next update. Welcome back. I'm at the end of the second third of this monster Face Redux. Burn line and construction caught up nicely. I did touch it up a little bit, but you know, nothing to worry about, just once. For me, that's okay. Performing exceptional in my book. And as far as the flavor notes on the palate here in the second third, just getting an abundance of florality on the palate. A secondary note that's almost primary as well. It's like a strong lime zest that's very bitter, and undertones of like cinnamon spice. On the retrohale, just getting a charred oakiness with an underlying florality as well. Still a little bit of like white pepper, and like a lightly subliminal cocoa note on the very long finish. The notes are very well balanced with the palate and the retrohale, to be honest with you. Retrohale sting still being medium minus, like a 4 to 5 out of 10. Honestly, you know, I've had worse retrohale stings with Tatuaje in the past, and this one's not bad. Another thing I wanted to show you guys was the cellophane that was on this cigar. And as you can see, it's a little bit tainted there. So I mean, it's been sitting for almost a year. You know, a lot of people frown upon or, you know, really disregard the tainting on the cello. To me, it's a good indicator of age. Some cigars taint the cello, some don't, but you know, overall, like if you've been holding onto a cigar for a long period of time, it's gonna get tainted regardless. So for me, it's just like an indicator, you know, showing me that the cigar has been aged for a while. And that's another reason why I keep the cellophane on my cigars, other than protection from, you know, your hand oils or whatnot, because we're constantly handling our cigars, right? So if you had a doubt about that, that's my preference. Obviously, if they come uncellophane, I just keep them like that in the box. So let me go ahead and finish off this monster. I'll smoke it as far as I can, and I'll be back for my final update and closing thoughts on this Monster Redux 3. Welcome back. I'm at the end of this Face Redux. As you can see, the burn line never really caught up to be straight, but that's fine. The ash is nice and grayish white. At the end, pretty good construction on this Tatuaje for Halloweeny. But overall, the experience has been pretty pleasant on this cigar, to be honest with you. You know, based on my previous experience with Tatuaje, which I didn't really talk about in the beginning, it's been like just very bold cigars that I've smoked from Tatuaje, with, you know, lots of earthy, bold notes on the palate. This one is kind of like the same, but you know, you get that floralness, which is nice, which is what's dominating here at the last third on the palate, and lots of cinnamon and nutmeg spices as well. Florality on the as a secondary note on the palate as well, and then lots of lemon zest bitterness on the palate. It's still manageable, to be honest with you, but it's just a very long finish. It's gonna stay on my palate for a while. And on the retrohale, just getting that floral oakness that's a little bit charred, and you know, like a lavender type of floralness as well. A little bit of sweetness, like a caramel type of sweetness that's just riding in the background as a secondary note. So overall, it's been a pleasant experience. Again, this cigar has been sitting for a year, so I think that the boldness tamed down a little bit, to be honest with you. And I think that these cigars would age very good. So from this preliminary experience, I would rate the cigar at least like a 5-pack, borderline to a box, depending. Probably if you're a collector, you're gonna want to buy a box of these just because for the hype, right? The cigar has been burning for 2 hours and 5 minutes now. I was actually, you know, expecting less because, again, I felt it was a little bit underpacked. And the cigar MSRP is for $13. Of course, I don't think you can find it at $13. I think the average is around 16 online. The BNM was 21, 22 with tax, something like that. So, you know, not exactly a cheap cigar. So I think a 5-pack rating at the MSRP price or closer to it would be ideal. And by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but the face comes from the horror movie Leatherface, which is actually one of my favorite series in horror movies. I love Leatherface. I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Do you? And you know, this was a perfect review for me for Halloween. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's gonna be it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. Comment down below if you smoked a cigar before. And if you haven't, if you want to try it, I can lead you the way to where you can get some. And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.